Ford, General Motors, Stellantis, these names are not just car companies, they are cornerstones of American industry. For over a century, these giants have shaped not just the roads we drive on, but the very fabric of American life. Their factories provided good-paying jobs, their innovations drove technological advancement, their vehicles became symbols of freedom and aspiration. But today, these titans stand at a crossroads. The industry they helped build now faces a crisis unlike any before. The once unthinkable has happened. Ford, GM, and Stellantis have all made the drastic decision to idle numerous plants across North America. This is not just about a few factories closing, it's a canary in the coal mine, a sign of deep-rooted problems threatening the entire auto industry. The decisions made in the coming months will determine not just the fate of these companies, but the livelihoods of millions and the future of a key sector of the American economy. The news hit like a bombshell. First, Ford announced the suspension of operations at 2 key assembly plants, citing supply chain disruptions and declining demand. Then, General Motors followed suit, idling 3 of its own facilities, blaming rising material costs and a shortage of crucial components. Finally, Stellantis, the multinational conglomerate formed from the merger of Fiat Chrysler and PSA Group, joined the chorus, halting production at 2 North American plants, citing similar challenges. These closures are not mere temporary measures. They represent a seismic shift in the industry, a stark acknowledgement that the traditional model of automobile manufacturing is facing unprecedented challenges. The suddenness and scale of these closures sent shockwaves through the industry, leaving workers, suppliers, and analysts alike reeling. The immediate impact is undeniable. Thousands of workers face uncertain futures, their livelihoods hanging in the balance as assembly lines fall silent. Communities that have long relied on these factories as economic engines brace for the ripple effects. But the true cost of these closures extends far beyond the factory gates. On the surface, the reasons cited by Ford, GM, and Stellantis for idling their plants seem straightforward: supply chain disruptions, rising material costs, and a persistent shortage of essential components, particularly semiconductors. While these factors undoubtedly play a role, they are merely symptoms of deeper, more systemic issues plaguing the auto industry. One such issue is the ongoing global chip shortage. Semiconductors are essential for modern vehicles, powering everything from infotainment systems to advanced safety features. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed the fragility of global supply chains as lockdowns and disruptions crippled semiconductor production, leaving automakers scrambling for limited supplies. However, the chip shortage is just one piece of the puzzle. The auto industry is also grappling with a fundamental shift in consumer demand. As concerns about climate change and air quality grow, consumers are increasingly turning to electric vehicles, EVs, and hybrid models. This shift has caught traditional automakers off guard, as they struggle to adapt to a rapidly evolving market. Section 4. Domino effect. One industry's fall, others tremble. The potential collapse of the auto industry is not just an automotive issue, it's an economic earthquake waiting to happen. The industry's reach extends far beyond dealerships and assembly lines. It's a vast ecosystem of suppliers, manufacturers, dealerships, and service providers, all interconnected and interdependent. Consider the steel industry. A significant portion of steel production goes directly into automobiles. If car manufacturing plummets, steel mills feel the pinch immediately. The same goes for glass manufacturers, tire producers, electronics companies providing navigation and entertainment systems. The list goes on. The job losses wouldn't be confined to assembly lines. Think of the truck drivers who transport vehicles, the mechanics who keep them running, the salespeople on dealership floors. Entire communities, many built around auto manufacturing, would see their economic foundations crumble. This domino effect could trigger a recession, impacting not just the United States but the global economy. Section 5. Echoes of Crises Past, Learning from History's Wrecks. This is not the first time the American auto industry has stared into the abyss. The industry has weathered numerous storms throughout its history, each leaving its mark and offering valuable lessons. In the 1970s, the oil crisis exposed the industry's over-reliance on gas-guzzling vehicles, forcing a painful but necessary shift towards fuel efficiency. Then came the 2008 financial crisis, which pushed General Motors and Chrysler to the brink of collapse. ultimately requiring government bailouts to survive. This crisis highlighted the dangers of relying on a shrinking pool of customers interested in increasingly expensive, low-margin vehicles. Today's crisis, however, feels different. It's not just about economic downturns or fluctuating oil prices, it's about a fundamental transformation of the industry itself. The rise of electric vehicles, the shift away from car ownership in urban areas, and the growing demand for shared mobility solutions are all reshaping the automotive landscape in ways that were unimaginable just a few decades ago. Section 6. Ripple effect: consumers and workers caught in the crosshairs. The potential collapse of the auto industry would have a profound impact on consumers and workers alike. For consumers, the immediate consequence would be a sharp decline in the availability of new vehicles. Dealership lots, once teeming with options, would become sparsely populated, forcing buyers to contend with limited choices and inflated prices. Used car prices, already at record highs, would likely skyrocket, putting vehicle ownership out of reach for many. The scarcity of new vehicles, combined with the high cost of repairs, could force people to hold on to their aging cars longer, potentially compromising safety and reliability. For the millions of workers whose livelihoods depend on the auto industry, the consequences would be even more dire. Plant closures would result in mass layoffs, leaving families struggling to make ends meet. Communities that rely on auto manufacturing as their economic engine would face soaring unemployment, declining property values, and a host of social problems. Section 7. Navigating the junkyard: possible futures, possible fixes. The future of the American auto industry hangs in the balance, but it's not beyond saving. However, averting disaster requires bold action, innovative thinking, and a willingness to embrace change. Government intervention may be necessary, not in the form of bailouts for failing companies, but rather strategic investments in research and development, infrastructure, and worker retraining programs. Automakers need to accelerate their transition to electric vehicles, investing heavily in battery technology, charging infrastructure, and the development of affordable and appealing EVs that meet the needs of a wide range of consumers. Collaboration, both within the industry and with tech companies, will be crucial to overcoming the technological hurdles and bringing down the cost of EVs. Furthermore, the industry must address the concerns of its workforce. Retraining programs can equip workers with the skills needed for the jobs of the future, while government assistance can help cushion the blow of job losses and support workers as they transition to new careers. Failure to address these concerns will only exacerbate the social and economic consequences of the industry's decline. The road ahead is fraught with challenges, but the American auto industry has a long history of resilience and innovation. By embracing change, investing in the future, and prioritizing the needs of its workforce, the industry can navigate this crisis and emerge stronger on the other side.